It's not often we do a double feature on this channel, but today we have two malls in the Research Triangle of North Carolina to go over. A small vintage micro mall near Cary, which we'll get a look at first. You're gonna love the South Hills Shopping Center. South Hills Mall started out life in November of 1963 as a project by David J. Martin. South Hills Mall was originally known as the Southland Service Station and Groceteria, serving as a quick stop for groceries among other things. Positioned on a hill and undergoing expansions, Southland would quickly become the South Hills, and in September 1972, the South Hills Mall would open with anchors Roses and Care Drugs. South Hills Mall was surprisingly popular for the area at the time, and would undergo a major expansion in 1982, bringing an extra 100,000 square feet of retail space to the mall, as well as room for kiosks and local events. Additionally, the mall would remain in the family, with ownership being shifted to Martin's son-in-law, Bob Dascombe, if I'm pronouncing that right. Dascombe was quoted in a 1993 newspaper. "Every center has to find its niche, and I think we have. With several locally owned businesses as tenants, people know when they spend their money here, they're investing it back into the local community. As we look ahead to the future, we hope to never lose sight of our heritage and to remain committed to our community, offering our customers personal attention with a clean, friendly, family-oriented shopping experience." It seemed that Bob was optimistic for the future, even though he was facing competition by the Cary Town Center and the Crabtree Valley Mall by this time. Fast forward to now, and there has been a number of changes to the mall. Most notably was the big change in late 2002, when the mall was greatly scaled down to the little nook we see today. Much of the mall's interior would be eaten away by Roses, and an Asian food market would take over more of the space. The south end of the mall would be turned into a rugged warehouse and a northern tool. And while Burlington Coat Factory was a staple for the mall for decades, it would eventually close in the 2010s. However, this small slice of the mall still remains, allowing us to get an idea of what the rest of the South Hills Mall might have been like. It's always nice to see a little piece of the mall preserved when it gets demolited. Most developers by now would have found a big box to vor this piece of the mall as well, destroying its roots entirely. I especially like how the management office overlooks the mall space. I've only seen something close to that at the Greenbrier Valley Mall in West Virginia. Of course, this is a tiny little nook, and I can only spend so much time walking around in circles before you get bored of even the globe lights, bricks, and the functional railroad set. So we do have to depart the mall now. But if you want to come down to this place itself, see if you can trace the rest of the mall through Roses. But wait, there's more! We'll go take a look at the next property in just a minute, so don't touch that tab. And onward, we find ourselves at a seemingly classy mall that is going a somewhat tragic direction, the University Place in Chapel Hill. A decent number of national chains are hanging out at this mall, but the tenants are withering away. Let's go get a look. University Place started out as the totally original and creatively named University Mall, opening in 1973 with Belk Leggett Horton and Ivy's. Roses would also be signed on as a junior anchor. The mall's history was rather quiet over the years until we reached the 1990s. Right in the year of 1990, Dillard's would take over the Ivy's space and absorb the store. The mall would take a dive in the 2000s when the Streets at South Point opened in 2002. Belk immediately closed their store at the University Place in favor of the big shiny new mall. Fortunately, this serious loss was mitigated when a gourmet supermarket, Southern Season, renovated and opened in the Belk pad over 2003. It was clear that the mall would have to reinvent itself as it faced stiff competition from the Crabtree Valley Mall, Cary Town Center, and the Streets at South Point. And in 2010, the mall would begin with a major renovation, and the Chapel Hill Public Library made a move to take over the Dillard's space. This move, however, was shut down as Dillard's wanted to remain and the town would reject the library's request. Instead, a compromise was found to open a temporary space in the mall proper while the main building was under renovation. The following few shots were taken during a silent fixture auction that was being held inside the Southern Season. We'll touch up on the store's closure later. 2013 would see a plethora of businesses from University Square move into the mall. When the library left the mall, the Kid Zoo Children's Museum would take over the space among other businesses and local retailers. However, Dillard's would be on its way out, finally, towards the end of 2013. This time, the Dillard space would be converted into a movie theater. Roses would also depart the mall around this time as well. – 2014 would see the mall's owners, Madison Marquette, announce the University Mall's name becoming the University Place. This would be a year-long effort being completed in 2015. However, fast forward to 2020, and in January, Southern Seasons would close its doors permanently, announcing a move to conduct online-only services. Due to the excess of store fixtures, a liquidation auction would be hosted over the next few weeks of early 2020. Today, we can only speculate how the store is faring as it faces the lockdown. A little heads up, The reason you see many of the stores closed in these shots is because I had arrived at this place during the mall walkers hour. This is January 2020, not July 2020. Aesthetically, this mall is very plain. Not too much that jumps out and shouts at you. Although it's not really ugly. It's just plain. Kinda boring, really. Although the old Southern Season store was a sight to behold. The owners did seem to have the right idea when it came to focusing this mall on a community center type deal. However, I get the feeling that it's going to be snuffed right out thanks to the governor's continued restrictions. At some point, we are going to have to lift the restrictions and keep things going. We can't keep fear-mongering and stay locked down forever, as much as some people want to. Anyway, that's enough from me. University Place does have a lot to handle as it goes forward, and I do hope management can keep itself going in this mad world. If you enjoyed the video, why not toss a like? Hate the video? Then dislike. And do feel free to share comments about the University Place and the South Hills Shopping Center. And I guess don't forget about my pages on Minds, Ko-fi, and BitChute. We still have a plethora more malls to go, and it's gonna take a lot to stop me from getting there. It ain't dead, it's surviving. Until next time, this is Doomie Grunt, wishing you, the University Place, and the South Hills Shopping Center farewell and good luck.